10 years ago, it all started with an idea. A small group of caring Bexley citizens with one ambition: to create a foundation whose purpose would be to sustain and enhance the quality of life for the Bexley community. The idea was huge, but the foundation started small. That first year, the Bexley Community Foundation granted awards to 4 projects, including our first grant, $600 to provide music on Main Street. The total grants for year 1, $6,500. But those seeds planted by the foundation's founders grew, thanks to the remarkable generosity of this Bexley community. That initial $6,500 in grants would grow dramatically. As we end our 10th year in 2020, the Bexley Community Foundation has granted over $3.3 million to a wide range of projects touching every aspect of life in Bexley. As of mid-year 2020, in addition to our main community fund, 12 funds provide for an opportunity to match donors with specialized need areas in the city. These funds allow the foundation to provide support for a wide range of activities and services for Bexley, from community events like the main event and 4th of July, to hanging baskets, trees, and Drexel Circle, and the new fields at Schneider Park, to the North and South Community Gardens, and new pickleball courts at Jeffrey Mansion, to the marquee out front of our beloved Drexel Theater. In 2020, we provided funding for what could be considered the crowning achievement of the foundation to date, the grant which provides much of the financial support for the major re-envisioning of Jeffrey Mansion, including fully finishing of the lower level and reconfiguring and renovating the former service garage into a large space for programming and activities and events. The Jeffrey Mansion campaign started with a goal of $1 million, but with the remarkable support of this community, and in particular the extended Jeffrey family, we soon raised our goal to $1.5 million. In the end, even that was exceeded, and in September, we presented a check to the city for $1,750,000. The increased funding allows for what was originally set to be a multi-year phased renovation to be completed now, including the addition of an elevator. By year-end 2020, Jeffrey Mansion will be completed, with more than 3 times the functional space, all while maintaining the exterior historical facade. Jeffrey Mansion will stand ready to serve generations to come, with even more programming and opportunities than ever, but as always, the heart and soul of the Bexley community. As we look back on our past 10 years, we recognize that none of this could have happened without the generous support of our donors. Each year, we acknowledge a person or a group of persons with the Cornerstone Award for Philanthropy and Service. The award is given to honor current or former Bexley residents who inspire and challenge us by their examples of exceptional service and giving to Bexley. This year, on our special 10th anniversary, it is my privilege to announce that the winner of the 2020 Cornerstone Award is you. All of our Bexley residents who have, in countless ways, supported this foundation through its first decade. To all of the volunteers who passed out information at the farmers market or main events, delivered masks to homes during the early COVID months, or served on our boards and our committees. And yes, to those who made the 5,361 individual donations to the Bexley Community Foundation over the past decade. Donations which have ranged from $10 to over $500,000. We honor all of you with the Cornerstone Award for Philanthropy and Service, as none of these 10 years of accomplishments could have been realized without your generosity and dedication. But for all that has happened over the past decade, we also eagerly look forward to the future. New funds and new initiatives are underway that will expand our reach. We are excited to announce 2 new funds as we close out our first decade. The first was made possible by a remarkable planned gift made by Constance Paul, who passed away in 2018. Her gift of over $500,000 will provide planned investment proceeds which will flow to the Bexley Community Foundation, creating a permanent legacy of her generosity to this community. Today, we announce the creation of the Constance Paul Memorial Fund. The fund will honor Constance Paul's love of nature and will support parks and outdoor recreational activities that will enhance the lives of Bexley residents now and for generations to come. We all know that 2020 has been a challenging year in many respects. The COVID-19 pandemic in particular has placed pressure on us all, but perhaps in particular highlighted the struggles of those in our community in need. The Community Foundation responded in the spring, committing $10,000 in matching funds for donations received earmarked for those Bexley residents hardest hit by the economic fallout. Since then, we have granted two $10,000 grants to DARN, the Developmental Assets Resource Network, to provide food and supplies for those in need in the Bexley community. But we know the need is great and will not simply end with the passing of COVID. Tonight, the Bexley Community Foundation announces our first ever fund focused on social services, fully dedicated to providing for those in need in our community. The Bexley Cares Fund has been seeded with $25,000 in grants from the General Bexley Community Foundation funds, which will serve as matching dollars for donations to this new fund. Through our new Bexley Cares Fund, we look forward to continuing our partnership with DARN and also expanding our relationship with other Bexley organizations committed to meeting the social services needs of the Bexley community. To emphasize our commitment to this area, we are extending our foundation tagline, Live, Learn, Work, Play, to now include care. But in reality, caring is nothing new. Caring is at the core of the principles that drove that first idea of our founders 10 years ago. It is the principle that drives everything we do. The Bexley Community Foundation is about caring for our city, caring for the opportunities to expand the fullness of our experiences, caring for our youth, caring for learning experiences, and caring for our community members. It is the principle that will drive us for the next 10 years and beyond. This is your Bexley Community Foundation. 10 years is a time to look back, but with the generosity of this community, we know we are just getting started. We are humbled by your trust and your support, and we know, together, we are just getting started.